Yes, so people, on these there's 8. We have 8 prelims and 2 debuts as part of the package. So there's a lot happening. It all starts off with the strawweight. We have Shauna Bannon against Sam Hughes. Okay, so Sam Hughes. I really do hate her nickname. It is stupid. But what's not stupid is the fact she's on a 2-fight win streak at the moment, right? She's 33, 5'5", 64.5-inch reach. She's got an overall record of 10-6, fighting out of Fortis MMA, right? So we're going to have the great Saif Saud in her corner shouting out shit, right? Her UFC record is 5-5. Last time out, well, her last 2 fights were both split decision wins, right? She beat Stephanie Lacano in March this year and Victoria Duvakova in August 2024. For whatever reason, I thought we'd seen her twice this year already, but it's only been once, right? Only been once. Now, you know what you're getting with Sam, right? She is tenacious, right? So oftentimes she'll lose that first round, or at least the first half of it, but it's her endurance keeps her going, and then she just kind of grinds the opponent down, sometimes getting a stoppage, sometimes getting a submission. But that's how Hughes likes to fight, right? She is going up against Shauna Mama B Bannon. Another one that sometimes people need to really, if you can't think of anything good, wait until someone gives you something good. Don't just take anything, you know what I mean? But Bannon, she's 31, 5'5", 65-inch reach. She is also on a 2-fight win streak. She is 7-1 overall. Right? She is 2-1 in the UFC. So last time out, she beat Pooja Tumar, got an armbar in the second. That was March this year. I remember that fight because Tuma was winning that fight, and she just did something silly and got caught. She went down on the ground, got caught in the armbar, right? And it was just, she shouldn't have. Like, you know what I mean? Tumar is very young in her career as well. It was a silly mistake. And before that, she got a split win over Alice Ardaline. Alice Ardaline. That was July 2024. I think, if I remember rightly, I thought Alice won that fight. But here's the thing. She didn't. Shauna won both. And props to her, right? Because the thing being, right, she was losing the last fight, but she had the wherewithal to be ready, right? And when the opportunity arose, she slapped on the armbar. You know what I mean? So, hey, you can't knock that shit. You know what I mean? But, yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean? I think she hasn't had a lot of fights, right? So she is prone to oftentimes make mistakes, but, you know, because she is new-ish, we do see improvements with each fight. That said and done, I think Hughes has just got it's the experience, right? It's the experience. You know, she used to be a long distance runner, track and field, not track and cross country, right? So she's got crazy endurance. She does have submissions as well. So yeah, I think Hughes gets this one done. Right, that's what I'm doing. So we are then with the welterweights. We have Andreas Gustafsson against Rinat Fakhretdinov. This, oh boy, this is a real interesting one, right? So Bane Andreas Gustafsson. He is 34, 6'1", 73-inch reach. He's got a 12-2 record overall. He's currently on a 4-fight win streak. He won his UFC debut, came via the Contender Series, and boy, he was so good against Chaos Williams. It was crazy, right? It's the pressure, the speed, the combination, like the just everything. I wasn't expecting that shit. You know what I mean? He made Chaos look slow, which was crazy. Craziness. You know what I mean? And that was coming after an impressive Contender Series win. You know what I mean? Knees, second round stoppage. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, he does like to end it with violence. You know what I mean? He's not going for necessarily for a submission. He's trying to fuck you up. He did win his first 2 pro fights with subs, which ironically. But after that, it's just like, no, I want to put people's lights out, right? That's what Gustafsson is trying to do, you know? But he's going up against Gladiator, Rinat Fakhretdinov, who is a beast. Right, he's 33, 6 foot, 74-inch reach. He's on a 11-fight win streak with an overall record of 24, 2, and 1. Right, which is just like, okay. You know, he's 5-0 with a draw in the UFC. Right? He last time beat Carlos Liao. That was October 2024. So we haven't seen him in a minute. Nearly a year. Right? Beat Nicholas Dolby by split decision. That's a very good win. Dolby is no joke. Right? He drew with Eliu Zaleski. Beat Kevin Lee. That was the fight when Kevin Lee came back. Whew, that was a tough one to watch. Right? Beat Brian Battle in, Andreas Michailidis in his debut. So, man, he is very impressive. This is, boy, this is a freaking very tough fight. Right? This is a very tough fight to go with. I think Fakhretdinov, he is very tough. He's very durable. He will walk you down. Right? He can sub you. He can grind you out. I'm not sure we've seen Gustafsson in the later rounds. Right? He does end things very quick. I mean, a few fights have gone the distance, but for the most part, he likes to end shit early. And I think Fakhretdinov, I don't know, I don't think you are taking him out quick. I don't think you're knocking Fakhretdinov out. You know what I mean? I say that and it happened, you know, but it's one of them ones, right? It's definitely not an easy fight. Definitely not an easy fight. I mean, there's a upside on both fighters. I think with the record, with the experience, I'm taking Fakhretdinov for the win. Okay? So we are then with the middleweights, we go upper weight class, people. We have Brad Tavares against Robert Bryczek. Okay? So, let's take a look at what's going down. Robert Bryczek. He is 35, 6 foot, 75-inch reach. He's coming off a loss in his last fight. He's got a 17-6 overall record, right? His last fight was his UFC debut. That was to Ior Potiera in February 24. So yeah, haven't seen him in over a year. Right? Sometimes I don't know if it's injuries, if it's just, the way shit is. Who knows? But it's been a minute, right? Now, before he came to the UFC, all his his last 5 fights leading up to the UFC debut, all stoppages. All stoppages and first round ones to boot. You know what I mean? So he's got thunder in those hands. You know what I mean? Got thunder in those hands, just couldn't get it done on the debut. So he is going up against Brad Tavares, who is a vet, right? 37, 6'1", 74-inch reach. He's got a 21-10 overall record, coming off a win in his last fight, which was against Gerard Marshall, that's a good win, people, right? He's 16-10 in the UFC. He's been in there with so many great fighters. Chris Weidman, right? He fought Adesanya back in the day. Yeah, I'd say back in the day. Well, 2018, I guess you can say. I mean, kind of, right? Oh, man. But yeah, he's been in there with some great fighters. Robert Whittaker, Yoel Romero, you know what I mean? He's beaten some on that front as well, right? He beat, on Unfiltered, talked about the fight and the win over, oh my God, what's his name? Phil Baroni. Jeez, Phil Baroni, right? He got to the semi-finals of the Ultimate Fighter. He lost the eventual winner, Court McKee. But yeah, he's durable. He's very, very durable. He has been stopped, right? He has been stopped with people with that power, right? Robert Whittaker, Edmund Shabazian, you know what I mean? People have got him out there. Bruno Silva, Gregory Rodriguez. So, man, I do like Brad Tavares, right? But I think with that power, Robert Bryczek, I think he gets it done. Okay, so we're moving back down to the welterweight division. We have Sam Patterson against Trey Walters. So the truth, Trey Walters. He's 30, 6'5", 77-inch reach. He's got a 9-1 record. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now. You know what I mean? He's 2-0 in the UFC. He went 2-0 in LFA. He did go to the Contender, but he lost, right? Got caught in a Van Flue, but by Gabriel Bonfim. So, no slouch. But, right, he went back to the regionals, got a second round stoppage in the LFA, then got a call up to the big time, right? Made his debut against Josh Quinlan in April 2023, won that. And then he won his next fight in May 2024 against Billy Ray Goff. Both unanimous decisions. So again, we haven't seen him in a minute, right? He, he does have some good stoppages earlier on, right? He's got a few submissions, guillotine, rear naked. He does like a guillotine, got a couple of those. And he's got people by strikes as well. That's earlier on in the career. Now, he's going up against Sam, the future Patterson, right? Who's 29, 6'3", 78-inch reach. He's got a 13-2-1 record. He's currently on a 3-fight win streak, right? 3-1 in the UFC, came via the Contender Series, and he surprised me last time because he knocked out Danny Barlow in the first round, right? I thought it was going to go the other way, right? But Patterson had other things in mind, right? It was a good one because his previous 2 wins, right, against Johan Leonidas and Kiefer Crosby, both were subs, right? A rear naked and an arm triangle. So yeah, that last one won by strikes, right? Now he does like a submission, he definitely does like a good submission. He's got a plethora of those throughout his career. Does have a few stoppages with the hands, but it's mainly with the subs, right? And I think, I'm in an R-ing about this fight, but I think Patterson has now got the confidence. You know what I mean? I think he's now got the confidence, right? There was the debut loss to Yanal Ashmaruz, right? Where the chin was just up in the air. Now, and I do say, he did have the chin high in the Leonidas fight, but I feel he's definitely sharpened everything up. You know what I mean? He sharpened everything up, and I think he's found his flow, right? So I'm taking Patterson for the win. So we then go to the more welterweights, right? We have Rhys McKee against Axel Sola. Okay, donkey, right? So Skeletor, Rhys McKee. He is 29, 6'2", 78-inch reach. He's 14-6-1 overall. Coming off a win in his last fight, which was his first win in the UFC. This is his second stint, right? And man, he needed it, right? Because he came back. He lost his first 2 fights. I mean, his first fight was against Khamzat. It was against Khamzat, right? Which, boy, that's a tough one. You know what I mean? That's definitely a tough one. That was in Abu Dhabi, right? So he lost that. Then he lost to Alex Moreno. Got cut. Went back to Cage Warriors. And then came back. But he lost to Angelosa and then Chidi Bang Bang, right? But he pulled it back. So last time out, he beat Daniel Ferroza. Now, it was a doctor's stoppage in the first round, but he got a win, right? So that's going to change the confidence for sure. For sure, right? Now, Axel Sola, he is 27, 5'11". We do not have his reach. He's on a 10-fight win streak. He's 10-1 draw overall. So, this is his UFC debut, people. And he was a champion in his previous organization, Aries. He defended the belt, I think, 3 times. 3 times, once was a draw. No, so 4 times. Yeah, one of them was a draw and he won the other 3. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was that. Yeah, he's got a few stoppages, elbows, punches, ground and pound. Right, so he is violent. He is violent. Well, he's fought twice this year. Once in January and once in June. So, yeah, this is an interesting one. Boy, I think I'm taking the debut upset. I'm going to go for Sola, right? He's on home soil. He's going to be just, you know what I mean, fighting at home, right? Getting that call up. Man, he's going to be stoked, right? So I'm going to, take him to do his thing. Now, this one, I only found out about this fight the other day, right? So we're now to the heavyweights, and this, people, is a rematch, right? We have Marcin Tybura against Ante Delija. I pronounced it wrong. I butchered it. I apologize, right? So, Walking Trouble and Ante Delija, right? I say this is a rematch because he first fought Marcin Tybura in 2015, right? Now, he lost that fight, but it was a leg injury. You know what I mean? It was an injury that forced a stoppage. Now, I don't know if it was an injury because Tybura was kicking the leg or, you know what I mean? But it was a injury. So I think when you lose by an injury, sometimes you can be like, you know what I mean? Wasn't really the thing. And we've seen that happen, right? And Brian Ortega lost to, oh my God. I cannot remember the dude's name. Fuck. He was trying to, get a fight against Volk, but we know that's going to be Lerone. But yeah, he lost Ortega lost the first fight through injury, and then they fought again, and Ortega won that one. So that can happen, right? Anyway, Ante, he's 35, 6'5", 79-inch reach, right? He's 25-6 overall, coming off a win in his last fight. I believe he was a former PFL champion. Right? He's fought in Ryzen, KSW, so he has all of that experience. Last time out, he fought former UFC fighter Jürgen da Costa, just murked him in the first round. Right? That was April this year. He does have a good few stoppages. I mean, it's heavyweight, right? That's what they do. If you can't stop people at heavyweight, it's that's a tough one, right? That's a tough one, but he can. Now, he did win his second. No, it actually wasn't his second. But some of his earlier fights, right? He did win with subs. But I think it's probably a bit like Big Country, right? Roy Nelson. Once you realize you can knock people out, you go, fuck the subs. Let's just bang it. You know what I mean? So, yes. He is, obviously, right? It's a rematch. He's fighting Tybura, Marcin Tybura, right? Who is 39, 6'3", 78-inch reach. So they do match up pretty identically, you know, when it comes to the stats. Though Ante is a few years younger. You know, so Tybura is 27-9 overall, 2-fight win streak at the moment, right? He's 14-8 in the UFC, and he's coming off a win over Mick Parkin, and Ante Dinez, right? So the Parkin fight was in March this year. Dinez was November 2024. So, yes, he did get subbed by Sergey Spivak, but he can also sub. He got a rear naked over Tai Tuivasa, right? Yeah, he's tough, man, right? He is a tough fight. You know, like, I just remember that Harris fight. Harris was all over him at the beginning, and then, boom, Tybura just stopped him. Right? He's been in wars. Ben Rothwell, Maxim Grisham. You know what I mean? So he's no walk over. But, yeah, I mean, it's one of them fights. I'm very intrigued. I know Ante is very good. Right? I've seen highlights of him. He is very good. I think he wants to get that, you know, win back. So I'm going to take Ante to, you know what I mean, do his thing on his debut. Oh, actually, I said there was 2 debuts. There was 3 debuts on the prelim. I forgot Ante. Yeah. Right, so then we are with the, what are we with? We're with the light... light heavyweights. Yeah. I was doubting myself for a second, people. We have Oumar against Brendson Ribeiro. Right? So, the gorilla Brendson Ribeiro. He is 29, 6'3", 81-inch reach, people. He's got an overall record of 17-8 with 1 no contest. He is coming off a loss in his last outing, right? He's a 2-3 in the UFC, came via the Contender Series, you know. So last time out he ran into Azamat Mirzakhanov, right? First round stoppage. That was June this year, so not that long from being knocked out. Can be concerning, right? The fight before that, he did win via Kimura in the second round. That was in March this year. So he's fought twice this year. Daya Nugabai. Yeah, you know, like he came from the Contender Series. First round stoppage over Bruno Lopes. Then he lost his first 2 fights. But, he's come back with a couple of wins. You know, then he lost, so he's trying to rewrite the ship again. He's done it once, so he can do it again, right? Oumar, you know, he's 29, 6'4", 83-inch reach, right? So he's got an 11-1 overall record, coming off a loss as well, right? So he's 2-1 in the UFC. And that was Alonzo Meadofield. I thought Sai won that fight. I did think he won that fight, you know. I thought the big thing with that was Meadofield had the heavier shots, but Sai was throwing more and doing more. And also, it's one of those ones where Sai... I think he reacted more to the shot. You know what I mean? So it's not like he was hurt, but he's, head back kind of thing rather than styling it out a little more. But, he did win his first 2 fights. Tuko Tokus got him in a rear naked, and Don Wu Zhang. That was a unanimous. Those were both last year, 2024. Yeah, you know, before that he's got submissions, does like a rear naked, and he can knock you out, right? So it is that double threat, which is always, always worrying for people. And I think with the diverse arsenal and fighting on home ground, right? I think Sai gets the win, you know? So our main fight on the prelims, we jump down to the featherweight. We have William Gomis against Robert Ruchała. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at this one. So Robert Ruchała. Okay, he is 27, 5'10", 72.4 reach. He's got an 11-1 record, currently on a 2-fight win streak. You know what I mean? And this is his UFC debut. So he fought twice in 2024. He won the first fight, first round body kick. Second fight, third round knockout. Right? Before that, yeah, I mean, he got another stoppage. Has got a few submissions early in his career, but since he's been looking to take your head off, right? Been looking to take your head off. So, Gomis, right? The Jaguar. He's 28, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. He's got a 14-3 record overall. He is coming off a loss in his last fight. All right, he's 4-1 in the UFC. Last one was Haider Amir. It was a split decision. That was a really fucking close fight. That really was. I think Haider just was doing more, but boy, that came down to the third round. It was a fun fight, right? He is very good. He does have like awkward movement. You know, does work behind the jab well, throws in those kicks, you know. And with those kicks, he did win one fight with a body kick, you know what I mean? So he does do that very well. All right, got a good win over Francis Marshall. Yeah, you know, he's got strikes. He does have some submissions. You know, he does prefer to strike, but yeah, as I say, he can do it on the ground as well. It's an interesting one. Again, I think I'm going to take the home fighter. I think I'm going Gomis for the win. Right? But yeah, that's a good one. These are very interesting prelims, people. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully that last fight, you know what I mean? It takes us well into the main card.